Alright boys, things have escalated, and I blame you. So obviously this was not planned, but just go ahead and move our program forward a bit sooner. This will be the last time you see this thing with the automatic transmission and obviously the WX Forester suspension and drivetrain. So I have told you guys I've had a full STI drivetrain for this thing. Pieces have been coming in, so now we are going to go ahead and do our full swap. You guys are going to follow us along with that, and this is most likely going to end up being the Vlogmas build. I had intentions for another project being the Vlogmas build, but some things are kind of being delayed with that, and I've been working hard to get that lined up for 4 months. But some of the delay there is going to be our fabrication shop was supposed to be up by now. Those of you that don't know, there's some shops getting built right behind us, and our fabrication Fishead Motorsports is going to be right behind us, which is going to be super ideal. You know, really nice, quick. Just put it dry or push the cars over there versus trailer them. You know, they used to be about an hour away. It's definitely going to be a lot more ideal. They were supposed to have been in that shop a couple months ago, but with the delays going on right now, they're still not in there, and it's just not going to be enough time before our Vlogmas build. So this is going to be our Vlogmas build, most likely. Like I said, last time, you're going to see this thing stock form. So I guess this thing's getting a life that I never intended. Damn, that's how everything goes. Meanwhile, Hyper Blue's over here just shaking her head. One day, girl, I promise. I would never drive that thing in the winter anyways, but it just sits. That's all it does. So I'm going to jump into this. I'll update it a little bit more as I go through here. I'm not sure how much of this process I'm going to record. This is a ton. So hub's got to come off, brakes got to come off, rear diff's got to come out, rear axles, front axles, transmission, drive shaft, shifter deal, automatic, tragic shit's got to come out, pedal assembly. There's a lot, and I'm not quite 100% sure how easy this thing is going to be to auto to manual swap. There's a lot of back and forth on these cars because it is the newer style, and everybody says you have to buy a manual or be having a manual. So I'm not sure. We're going to find out together, but I'm going to go ahead, do some things tonight. Probably not a ton of stuff, but I'm going to pull the wheels off and probably start undoing the suspension, start getting the rear diff out, things like that. See how much those rear bolts are going to fight me. I'll update you guys a little more when I know what's going on. There we have our Rod Killer 1000 out of here, boys. See you later, Auto. I know a lot of you wanted to see the auto stuff on there, and to be honest with you, it did really good, and it shifted fine up till I really started leaning on it, which 448, that thing had a beautiful graph. So I'll go ahead and put it in here for you guys. Beautiful graph. It was 448, 386 torque. After that, when I leaned on it more, it slipped and then it locked the converter up top, which inevitably it's going to because it's a stock automatic transmission. It doesn't have any upgraded solenoids, doesn't have an upgraded torque converter. All the main things that you need to do for an auto, which I already knew. I wasn't by any means going to say it was going to live forever or hold that power. I didn't even give it an opportunity to try to live in the car and go through some testing and driving and things like that. But we have a big old hole now. Good thing that's out of the way. I already got the drive shaft undone, control arms, the front axles out. We're going to be doing STI front control arms on this thing. Obviously STI, drive shaft, and axles. I already got the rear diff drained on this thing. Thank the God that these rear bolts, which you guys already know, they're called death bolts. And I know it's dark under here, but they go from, you have to take my word, the hub through the control arms back here. And those things are loose. Well, not loose, they were tight, but they came loose. They like to seize in the bushings, and then you have all sorts of problems. Gonna take the rear control arms or lateral arms off here. We're going to be putting STI ones on too, so this thing will be complete STI drivetrain. It will really be like our other Forester where it was 100% STI. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working away on the same, making good progress. Almost ready to get the suspension out of the way. Then I can get these hubs off and we are all stripped, ready to go. Definitely makes it a bit easier when we don't have a motor in this scene. Trans was, as you guys saw there, I just put on some rollers and I was able to roll the scene out of there. Wasn't terrible at all. Obviously wouldn't recommend that to put it in, but to get it out, that was fine with me. So I'm gonna get back to work, making good progress, boys. All right, trouble came and finally helped.
Look at what you did to a perfectly good car.
Me?
Yeah, you.
You're a culprit too.
Whatever.
Look at this thing. This thing's fucking stripped. There's nothing under here. There ain't no light. Where's the light at? So rear subframe has to be switched. So that shit's gone. Everything's out. Car's nice and clean. No underneath. No rust. This thing's all stripped. Ready to go back together. The goal is tomorrow to have this thing a roller again with all STI hubs, suspension, everything back on. Hopefully, maybe a trans, and then we can focus on the motor and get this thing ready to go off to Fab, and then the party begins. Damn, I'm tired. Welcome back, boys, to a new morning. We are back to work on our Forester STI project. Once again, another killer Forester build for our Vlogmas build, boys. Here it is, completely unplanned, and here's the start of the show today. So import image has been taking care of us for quite some time now, guys. If you have not seen, you can look down in our description and go get yourself some parts. We're working on maybe doing a discount code in the future, so just stay tuned for that. But for now, they got us taken care of with some state-of-the-art Silver's Performance coilovers for this thing. So obviously, since we're changing this thing over to 5114 with STI hubs, we needed a new suspension for the vehicle. So this is what we went ahead and went with. Might as well go ahead and upgrade at the same time, and these things will definitely perform great for our daily driving and drag racing later on with these. So really excited to get these things put on. I like that these things are all black and silver. Some of you guys will probably be as picky as I am with colors, but definitely a really good looking setup and a really well performing setup. If you guys remember, we put a set of these on our drag car and they did nothing but good things for us. And once again, that's the first person we thought of when we were doing this Forester build, because it had some OEM suspension on it, some STI struts with lowering springs, and it just didn't ride that great. So this is going to fix all of that and definitely give us the performance side of things. This morning we're going to be starting out with getting these on the car, and then we're going to start hanging hubs on it, because as of last night, as you guys saw, we got this thing all stripped down, so that way we can start converting this thing over to the 5114 STI rear subframe. Front one's going to stay the same since it is the same. I know the steering racks are a little bit different ratio, not too big of a deal for me. This one works perfectly fine, so I'm just going to leave it there. Other than that though, we do need to change the hubs, Brembos, and we're going to change to the STI front control arms, STI rear lateral links in the back, and then obviously STI transmission, drive shaft, and rear diff, and so forth. So definitely got a full day today. I would really like to have this thing back to rolling condition at the end of today. Today is also going to be our Friendsgiving with all of our friends, so today's going to be cut a little bit short, but that's all right. Obviously some of you guys are like, what the heck? This is Vlogmas and I'm hearing about Thanksgiving stuff. That is right. This year I am choosing to record prior. So I would have liked to have started recording a couple months back, to be honest with you, with the project that I had planned for this, but just didn't work out. This was unplanned, but this is what's going to be most of our Vlogmas build, if not all of it. So let's go ahead and get today started by getting some of these hung up on the car. And from there, we can start getting our hubs on, and we're going to stay on the front for right now because I need Justin to bring me the rear subframe for the back. Which, you guys, if you do need parts, look down below. Justin, he has everything you could think of, aftermarket or OEM. So his email is down below in the description. You want to go ahead and send him an email for something you may be looking for and you can't find, most likely he has it. So let's get these things hung on the front, get our hubs on, and then start working on getting the Brembos on. Welcome back, boys. Just give you an update on this thing. Things have definitely escalated. This is a new day, and I am wrapping up where we were before. Before you saw us putting the front hubs on this thing and the new Brembo's new silver racing coils. Everything is on now, looking beautiful. Shout out to Justin. I got my favorite version of these wheels, 08 to 14 Hyper Silver BBSs. These are not in the best condition, so hopefully I can find a better condition later on. But this on my Forester here is my favorite look, very OEM plus. You can see where we got our Brembos on behind there. I'll show you later when I take these things back off. Everything is gutted in the engine bay, as you can see. It's a nice big hole. Activities are opening up on that side. Went ahead and I'm doing an ABS delete on this thing. We're doing a chase base, ABS delete, power steering kit, and washer fluid, coolant overflow, just to clean up this bay quite a bit. As I'm continuing on here, I did go ahead and pick up a brand new in-box 07 STI shifter assembly for this thing, because we are going to need an 02 to 07 manual shifter assembly for the 6-speed. And then thank you to Corey. This is a 2015 STI transmission. He's going to be going a different route with his car. Still going to be using his STI transmission that he had in his 08 WRX. So we are going to be using that, and he was kind enough to sell me this with the rear diff. So that way we have a drivetrain for this thing. So I'm going to work on getting that transmission in here and getting cleaned up today, because the shop is being a bit of a mess from how much work has been going on. Swapping these things is no joke, boys. It takes a lot of time and labor. It's definitely a pretty hard job, and I would recommend a lift 10 out of 10. I've done this stuff in the garage. You can. It's just not as easy or near as fun. Not saying this is a very fun job, but we are making some good progress here. I'm going to continue with that. I'm going to get that shifter assembly put in the car. I'll show you guys that, and then I'm going to try to get this transmission in here. Obviously, some of you guys are wondering, because this was an auto and we're going to a manual, there is going to be some wiring things that need to happen, because these are our transmission plugs, and they look nothing like you normally would on an STI transmission. This thing is going to be going through some wiring changes, which we'll tackle a little later on. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get the shifter linkage in, get this trans in, and then that way we have a good baseline, and then we can start building the motor. Get the motor in this thing, get it ready to go to Fab, because we're going to have Strayed Motorsports build us our turbo kit, so that way we can hopefully have this thing still as our winter car. That is still my plan, daily drive this thing. It is my winter car. Hopefully we can still do that. It's kind of turning into being too nice, as they always do, to be a winter car, so we'll see. All right, after a long day, I know not much is going to look different, other than there is a transmission all the way in here. Full drivetrain is in the thing. Rear diff, axles, drive shaft, obviously the hubs, brakes, everything's on. Rear rotors are the wrong ones, so I had to order them, so there is no rear rotor in the back. So obviously it's sitting high in the front because we got no motor in it. This is, I think, the height I'm going to go for, guys. About 3 fingers. It's about 2.5 fingers, to be honest with you, but it's going to be my daily driver. I don't want this thing to be slammed. I think that's a pretty good OEM plus stockish height, so that's what I'm going to go for there. Just getting everything cleaned up in here to start the motor assembly. So some of you probably are wondering what engine is going in this thing. I have some bigger plans than what the motor is for this thing in the future. The motor we are going to be putting in here is one of my stage 4 closed deck blocks here. This is available on our website down in our description. One of these stage 4s is rated for a 650 wheel. They will do more, as I've proved. Obviously, you guys have seen with VA, we have pushed it as far as 1000+ horsepower. Doesn't mean they're going to live forever at that, but they will do it. So this is, like I said, a little bit underrated for what my power goals are with this car, but this is going to do great for what I'm going to be doing with the car and daily driving it. So this is my usually go-to block for that. I'm going to start getting this thing assembled. I got to pull the heads out of the bin. Got those all went through, deck checked, rebuilt. We're going to be using a set of Kelford stage 3 cams on it, and Kelford springs and retainers. They are ported and polished. We are going to be using 1/2-inch head studs. That gives you a quick rundown on the motor. I'm going to try to get this into a long block before I head out of here tonight, because we are wrapping up on my days off, and this is definitely really good progress, but I would like this not to run into our normal week. So if I can get this long block ready to go, drop it in the morning, this thing goes off the Fab, and then I go back to work for the rest of the week. So no days off, but you know what, it'll all pay off in the end. because we will have a Forester that is going to be the baddest Forester ever built. I promise you. This thing, it has it all. Literally, like, everything is going to be top notch on this thing. Not the most ideal car to drive in the winter, but we may. We'll find out. So let me jump right on this motor and get it assembled in the long block and get this thing ready, and then we'll drop it in the car. Welcome back to a new morning, and today we are gonna have a good day because we got this thing really far yesterday. Whole entire drivetrain is 100% in the car, and now before I left last night I made this thing into a bare long block, but the heads are all the way on and sealed, so that is a good way to start our day. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right at this, get this in complete long block, and then we're gonna throw it into the car. And just like that, boys, we have a fully complete time long block ready to drop into our Forester build. There's something I want to do before I do that, and I ordered a Chase Bays power steering kit for this thing, along with a Chase Bays ABS delete, which I may have talked about before. So with that being said, this is going to be a lot easier to do with the engine out of the car to get to these power steering lines, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Definitely not a fun job. It is a messy job, but we got to get it done. The main reason for changing these is because we are going to have a heat source right next to these lines. It becomes a fire hazard. Power steering fluid, aka automatic transmission fluid, and these things are very flammable. If we were to ever lose a line, we risk burning our car down. So when you guys are doing a bigger turbo kit on your car, or even, you know, external wastegate setups, it's never a bad idea to upgrade to a braided steel line on your high pressure line, because that's the one that's close to the heat source there. So just keep that in mind. One thing I normally do on like external wastegate setups here, I'll pull these forward and bend them forward to get them away from the heat source. It's worked really well in the past. I haven't had any issues with them, but it definitely can be an issue if you let them get too close. So like I said, I'm going to pull those out while we have the motor out of the car. This thing is all ready to go. You can see things have definitely escalated. I got to give a big shout out to our boy Dan over at Torque Solutions. He always makes sure that we are taken care of when it comes to parts from them. Here we have a set of their billet exhaust timing gears. The factory ones are made of plastic and they can be brittle or break. Being that this car has had a hit in the front before, I'm just going to go ahead and make that decision now to protect our nice brand new long block we have in here. Outside of that, you guys saw we did that IAG timing belt kit on here before. I did add some adjustable pulleys, being that this has some heads that have been used before. They've always obviously been decked, so that does mean we need to fix our timing somewhere, and these IAG adjustable pulleys really make a good addition to any motor build, guys. If you're looking at buying one of their timing belt kits, it's not a bad idea to buy these. It's not like you're going to go wrong with, even if you don't need them, you can still adjust them to the right position. So definitely a good addition there. Everything is all ready to go. Brand new crossover since we destroyed our last one. But yeah, really happy with this thing. Really happy of how it's looking out, and the full, I guess, restoration for this thing. This thing really is going to be a bit of everything. We have a beautiful STI front end, all OEM paint match to the car. Brand new Brembo brakes, and we have some brake pads coming. The brand new silver street coils on it, and we have brand new front axles, low mileage STI rear axles. We're gonna have obviously a brand new clutch, which we'll see here soon, and we're gonna have everything brand new in the engine bay. Our STI seats, we did a new windshield, we tinted the windows, we got a remote start, we got a sound system in this thing. We're gonna have some new snow tires. Like, literally from top to bottom, this thing is nowhere near the same of what it was. Definitely escalated a bit, but it is gonna be an amazing daily driver. So let's go ahead, wrap this thing up. I'm gonna put the covers on the front of it, and it's all ready to go to get dropped in. But like I said, before I get that dropped in, I'm gonna throw that Chase Bays power steering kit in. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll catch you guys up after I'm done. I've never put one in one of these cars before. I've just done the braided steel line, so probably gonna take a little bit of time, but I'm just gonna go ahead, knock that out real quick, and I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, a lot has been done in a short amount of time. Wrapping this thing up, like I said, it's been dragging out a bit longer than I wanted, but we are officially ready to go to Fab, guys. So everything is in. As you can see, I chose an AMS intake manifold for this. Engine is all the way in. There's still some things, obviously there's no engine harness on it, which we don't need for Fab. AOS is put up in the corner here. It may have to get moved over to the center. We'll kind of see how things go for our turbo placement, but it's definitely looking really good, guys. I'm really excited. Also, I went ahead and got the inside all done. So we have our, man, it is dark. Gotta love the dark tint. So we got our STI shifter assembly in, obviously, because we have our motor and drivetrain in. And then I also got the pedal assembly in. It has a STI pedal assembly as well. This is out of 07 STI. So as you can see there, we have our nice silver pedals, racing pedals. And then you can see there, we got STI shifter. We have Justin's surround for now. I'm going to order a new one, but definitely looking really good. Steering wheel is definitely off alignment from having the steering rack out, but wheels are on. Rears are having an issue with the coilover. They are hitting the coilover on the inside, so you'll see they're poking quite a bit, and I'm not a fan of that, but this is just to get it to fab. I got a 15 mil spacer on there right now. I only need like a 3 mil spacer for it to clear the coilover, so I'm going to do that because I'm looking for the OEM fitment, which is a lot nicer than what we were having in the back of it. But this thing is, like I said, ready to go to fab, ready to get on the trailer, and you guys are going to have to wait to see what turbo is going on this thing. Maybe I'll show you now. Hang on. Dun 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 dun. That's right, boys. This is not planned, I promise. So I was originally looking for a 7275 for this thing. My opinion, that's a really good street turbo, boys. Definitely, I have a lot of data logs from doing different setups over the years, and it seems like that new next gen 7275 is a really good street turbo. This was what was in stock, and I know a 7685 works well. Obviously, you see a lot of my personal cars have that, and a couple customer cars as well, but it definitely wasn't what I was going for the street. But this is my daily driver. This will help keep me out of trouble because it's obviously not going to come to boost immediately. Placement's obviously going to change up. I just sat it there because that's all I can do. But we have it, boys. 7685 next gen turbo, V-band in and out. I would really like to have this more in the rotated fashion, but it's questionable if it's going to fit there. It may end up being more of a headlight kit. We will see, to give you boys an idea of what that looks like. If we do a rotated style turbo kit, here is Jeff's beautiful BBR 1000 package here, and you can see our turbo in a nice rotated fashion. So they'll be able to do better at fabrication than I will with what I have here. Right now I'm just kind of sitting in boxes and whatnot, and it's obviously not working well. So I'll let them play with it. They know what I want. In the end, we'll have to just wait to see, but this thing is ready to go. Gonna go ahead and get this thing loaded up on the trailer, and next stop will be fab. Here we have it, boys, all loaded up, ready to go off to straight fab, get this thing all built up for its turbo kit. This thing looks so good, guys. I am super happy with how this thing's turning out. I know it's dark right now, so you're not probably getting the best view, but take my word for it, this STI front end completely changed this thing, and those wheels is exactly what I had visioned for this thing. I am super excited for this thing to play out and to get to enjoy this car. But like I said, I'm gonna go drop this thing off. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. It's gonna be off at fab for a bit, and then I'll catch you guys up when it's all finished up.
Fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. Fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. I ain't slowing down. Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground.